Hi guys, David here, and I'm here to talk a little bit about something that I'm not sure if other people do. Nobody's really talked about it, but I do it a lot, and it is gaming in lists. I keep a list of pretty much everything that I do. Um, I have two different lists that I deal with, and we can always file this under am I crazy or am I normal? I kind of think I'm a little bit type A, control freak, crazy. But let's just talk about what I actually do. On the top of the screen up here, I have games that I am Let's Playing. I have games that I actually want to beat down here under Portable and Computer, which would be games that like I'll play on a trip. I go on a lot of trips. I go to town a lot with my husband. So that's Final Fantasy Dimensions, The Tales of Hearts R, Etrian Odyssey Untold, The Millennium Girl, and then any kind of games that I'm playing on a console at home, which in this case is Tales of Graces F. Then over here, I have games that I want to watch Let's Plays of, and that would be games that I may have started and not finished. It says here, games that I have retired have priority. That means that if I have started a game and I didn't like it, or for whatever reason I just didn't finish it, I retired it. So that would have a priority over a Let's Play of, say, something like 7 Saga, which I've beaten about 3 times. So I have those lists right there. Down here I have games that I would like to watch Let's Plays of, but there aren't any good Let's Plays of them. So, and then over here, people that I kind of follow, and I kind of want to watch their Let's Plays. I also have a huge backlog, so I like to keep track of that, and I like to kind of knock that out whenever I can. So each season, yeah, I'm kind of crazy. Each season, I want to beat about 10 games, and I have them categorized over here by what types of games they are. So over here, I have a game like Final Fantasy Dimensions, which is not needed to beat. I'll play them with all the other games. Over here, for number 2, I have various Nintendo mascot games: Zelda, Mario, Kirby, Donkey Kong, whatever. For number 3, I have DS, PSP games that also don't need to be beaten. I'll play those on a trip. Over here, I have like a ROM game, and then I go by the oldest system first, so a Nintendo or a Game Boy I want to beat. Down here, the system with most unplayed games, which would normally be a DS game. Over here, older console games, GameCube, Wii, PlayStation 2. Down here, a ROM that is either a Wise game or an Ease game, or a first-person dungeon crawl game. I've pretty much beaten the entire Ease series, so I'm moving on to the first-person dungeon crawl series. Down here, strategy RPGs. In this case, Fire Emblem is what I'm working on right now. Down here, Steam or Sega games. I alternate between the two because I don't have many Sega games that I want to beat, and I also don't have many Steam games that I want to beat. Down here, ROMs that are standalone, not part of a series. So, like a game like, I don't know, Alcahest would fit into here. Then I have, because I have a tendency to play a bad game all the way through just because I just want to play it. Here, I just need to move on. So if it's bad, I have a list at the end of the document, and then I move on and replace it. These are the other games that I'm going to be playing throughout the year. I have it divided by the fall season, the winter season, the spring season. If it's blank, I've already beaten it. If it's crossed out, I've already beaten it as well. So I'm at winter 2015, so I'm kind of ahead of the game here, except that I still need to beat this Fire Engine Shadow Dragon and the Ease Origin. But recording on YouTube kind of got in the way of that. Then down here, I have series that I want to beat in the order that I actually want to beat them, because some of these series I don't really have a lot of exposure to, kind of like the Pokemon series. I think I've said before that I'm not really into Pokemon, but I would like to beat them. Hey, why not? So this is the order that the Pokemon series goes in, because I just honestly don't really even know the order. Same thing down here with the Castlevania series. I don't really know the order, so I looked it up online and I have the order written down there. Then, these are all the games that I have not yet beaten. For each system, I have my comments down next to them. If I need any comments, I have the total amount of games that are in each system, and I go down from PlayStation all the way through, down, keep on moving. I got tons. So these are all games that I actually want to beat, that I either own or I have downloaded on my computer, or for whatever reason I want to beat them. So that's well over 100. Then, down here, I have another list. This is games of least concern for multiple systems. These are games, and I pretty much got rid of the NES games because I figured, you know what, it's NES, it's so old, I'm not going to deal with it. These are games that I would like to beat, like, let's say, 20 years down the line, if games just stop being released in general for God knows whatever reason. These would be games that I would like to beat, but for whatever reason I can't right now. Maybe they don't have a patch, such as Romancing Saga 2 and 3. It's just for various reasons. Then I have a list of games that I have completed. So we'll start up here, like, let's say, let me find a good one. So, like, okay, here's Bahamut Lagoon, which is a great game, but I completed it years ago, back before I really even started this list, and started, recording, or writing down about the games. So let's look down here. For, like, Bat and Kados. I played it with a guide. My comment is that it's a slow game. The ending tower is really frustrating. I beat it on November 19th, 2010. For Beyond the Beyond, I've beaten it twice. I've beaten it with the guide, so I've beaten it perfectly. Yeah, I know. Beyond the Beyond. Seriously. Twice. For Black Seagull, I tried to beat it twice. I played about 25 hours each time, but it's a repetitive, broken game. There's too many battles. I YouTubed the ending. I pretty much retired it on May the 1st, 2012. So I just go through and I make comments, and I have it in alphabetical order of all the games that I have beaten, my comments on them, over here for the Dragon Quest series. I have it divided up by, like, let's say Dragon Quest V. I've beaten the SNES version twice. I've beaten the DS version once. I did the No Shop challenge with it, and I married Deborah. So I just have it all the way through, all the way down for all these different games. I mean, the Final Fantasy series, it's ridiculous. It takes like an entire page just itself with all the different things that I've done with Final Fantasy. Does anybody else do anything like this, or am I, like, crazy? Am I crazy insane? I don't know. But this is what I do. Call me crazy, but this is what I do. This is how I keep track of it. I mean, I have so many that I keep track of. So then at the end, I have epilogues that I'd like to complete. So, like, for example, for Dragon Warrior 3R, I still need to complete Bonus Dungeon. I still need to complete the epilogue on Dragon Quest 4. On Dragon Quest V on DS, I need to beat S-Tark in 15 turns, finish the last TNT board, marry Bianca, marry Flora. There's a lot of different things that I need to do. Then I have, down here, Let's Plays that I have seen, and they're pretty much all H.C. Bailey, unless I've otherwise recorded who I actually watched, like Henshin 1913 right there for the Breath of Fire series, because H.C. Bailey didn't do them. So I even keep track of the Let's Plays that I watch. I am insane. So, go down here. I have specific challenges that I've done. Like, for example, for Final Fantasy VI Advance, I've done like a specific Esper-only challenge for each of these people. If they're allowed to have Espers, like Gao and Edgar are not allowed to have Espers. If they're allowed to have bonus level-ups, I've done that. I've done advanced challenges, class challenges for Final Fantasy V. Games that I might want to come back to someday and really give a chance are there. Games that I've partially played but retired are all right here. So, as you can see, not a big fan of Kingdom Hearts. I didn't like it. I sold it. So, stop watching me right now. I don't know. Games that I've attempted but are just incredibly, ridiculously bad for whatever reason. I also hated ICO, whatever you want to call it. I hated Kodelka. Couldn't stand it. Other games like that. So that completes my first list, which I call games in the process of beating. Now to move on to my second list, because I'm just that crazy. This is my games to buy list. And I give myself money that I'm able to spend on games because I have so many games that I need to complete. If I just went out and bought every single game that came out, I would never beat them all. So I try to stagger myself by giving myself a certain amount of money for each game. And for each hour that I play of a game, like say that I play it for 10 hours, I'll give myself 50 cents per hour, so I get $5, and I add it to that little kitty over there to buy for, to buy a new game. Then over here, I have, I write a note to myself, don't buy the new 3DS. Buy the predecessor that will come out with the backwards compatibility. Don't buy a PlayStation 4 or Wii U until 1 year after their successors are out. I don't know about that, because PlayStation 4 is getting a lot of really good games. Then I have games over here that are really good, but I want to buy them whenever they're under $30, like the Trails in the Sky games, the Trails of Cold Steel, the Popolo Cross Farm Story, Tales of Hysteria, and I put that down because, you know, Tales of Xillia and Tales of Xillia 2, they were like $20 just a couple months after their release. And then over here, I have to ask myself these 3 questions if I want to buy a game. Would I miss the game if I didn't have it? Why do I want the game? Do the reviewers agree that the game is a must-have? So then I have the games that are kind of like second tier, the games that I'll only buy if it's cheaper, if it's under $20, and I have prices listed out for most of the games. The 19 means what it costs used, the 34 would cost new, for example. Games that I'll only buy whenever it's under $10. Final Fantasy 13-3, big surprise, I'm not going to buy that one yet. Good games to buy that are indies that I will buy whenever they're under $5 on Steam. So there's that. This was a previous list down here, the Vita games. I said I'll buy a Vita whenever I have 10 games listed here, and I did. So I bought a Vita, and the other game, for whatever reason, I pretty much bought it for Tales of Hearts-R, Persona 4 the Golden, and Ys 4 Memories of Celceta, because those are the only 3 games that I have for my Vita right now. I do want to buy Disgaea 3 for it. I want to buy that new Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy for it. I'm thinking about buying Orshika for it. I'm still kind of iffy on these other games, though. Then down here I have newly announced games that are listed out by their system, and I'll probably buy a PlayStation 4 whenever I have 10 PlayStation 4 games listed here. Over here I have ROMs that I still want to download, mostly for the Saturn, because I can't really find a good Saturn emulator. Then, down here, I have games that I've beaten in 2015. I've beaten 20 of them. On what date I have beaten those games are right here. The rank that I would give it, so I would rank it between 1 through 4, meaning 1 is the worst, 4 is the best, which system it's on, and if I've bought any games. I've bought 2, Class of Heroes 2G and 8 Liar, Eshka, and Logi. I've bought so far this year. I even put down games that I've retired, and for what reason? For Burning Heroes, I retired it because of the mercenary system. I don't really like the mercenary system. Energy Breaker, I retired it because it had this horrible, horrible conversation system that I couldn't stand. Wario Land 4, the controls were terrible. Got rid of it. Games that I've beaten in 2014, I beat 48 of those games, and I bought 26, so I'm getting it down. Games that I've beaten in 2013, I've beat 31 games, and I bought, I don't know, these over here, however many of those are. Oh, and I won Pandora's Tower for free in a contest. That was nice. Thanks, Operation Rainfall. That was cool. Down here in 2012, I've beaten 28 games, but I pretty much bought exactly the same amount, the same 28 games right here. So you can see, I don't want to buy any more games than what I've beaten. That was my original goal here by doing that, because I was buying so many. 2011, I beat 42 games. So it's just the same thing going on. 2010, that's whenever I really started this list. I beat 16 games, so that's why my 2010 list doesn't look as nice as the other lists. Games that I've decided against are down here. So those are my lists. Let me know if you do anything similar. Let me know if I'm crazy. Let me know if I'm normal. Give me your comments on this, because I kind of think I'm a little bit crazy. But I don't know. I'm type A. I like it. Good talking to you guys. Have a good day.